On the news, 3 of the abducted Greenfield University students found dead. Standard Organization of Nigeria impounds substandard tires worth 600 million naira. And federal government defends Issa Pantami as calls for his resignation thickens. Glad to have you join us on News Now. I am Fola Shadi Ogrinde. We begin on a sad note with the news that 3 students who were kidnapped from Greenfield University in Kaduna State have been killed by their abductors. Confirming the development, the Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arwan, said the remains of the 3 students were found on Friday in Kunan Baturu village, a location close to the university. This comes 3 days after an unspecified number of students were kidnapped from the private university located along the Kaduna-Abuja highway on Tuesday night. The federal government has expressed concern over the current situation in the Republic of Chad, following the death of President Idris Deby. The Minister of Defense, Bashir Magashi, disclosed this in Abuja during the media ministerial briefing at the State House in Abuja. Magashi noted that the death of the former Chadian leader may create some security challenges for Nigeria, added that the absence of Deby's influence on the borders might worsen the security situation in Nigeria and other neighboring countries.
When we heard of this unfortunate killing of the Chadian president, we know that problem is bound to be created amongst the neighboring countries, and Nigeria will be most hit by his absence. If there is no security in Chad, there will be a lot of problems. But thank God, we have a lot of military activities with the Chadian, Niger, Cameroon. We have all that military concern. So, in the name of multinational joint task force, all these countries, including Chad, are contributing countries for the operation. What we hope is that very soon we will find a secure for the continuation of this thing, of the activities we are supposed to be doing. The problem is that the problem of Chad is now going to be aggravated because we are not sure the direction in which that country is going to face. But I assure you that we are mindful of our borders, we are mindful of the development, and politically the government is putting its head together to see how best they can restore the peace in that country.
The Minister worries stating the federal government's commitment to securing the nation and stop the influx of illegal arms, however disagreed with Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai on wiping out bandits and insurgents. Recall that Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, had earlier said bandits and terrorists creating tension in the northern part of the country have lost the right to live and should be killed, but the Minister of Defense differs on this.
All bandits should be killed. I don't share that. With my little experience as a lawyer for 37 years, I think I know the rule of law. I know how decisions are taken. Everybody is innocent till he is found guilty. We'll try to administer justice to all of them. But where we catch them with weapons, somebody trying to kill you, what do? That area we will not compromise. Anybody who pick using arms will deal with him. If it's fire one round, we'll fire artillery weapon lethal so that it can destroy the whole range, the radius. Not only himself, even his farm should be exterminated.
The ongoing national identity number NIN registration being supervised by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy may be in jeopardy as campaigns and social media pressure mounts on the minister to resign following allegations of links to Al-Qaeda terrorist organization. TV360's Abisola Adebayo looks at the issues and the likely implications for the nation.
Duk da yaran nan yan Boko Haram sun yi laifi, amma kisan da aka musu adalci ne. Ka duba yadda ake kwantar da mutane, yadda ka san aladu ana harbe su. Idan sun yi laifi me yasa za extrajudicial killings?
It started like a rumor that Nigeria's Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, has links with terrorists and has made several extremist comments in the past to support terrorism. Although the newspaper that published the information has since retracted it and apologized, the issue is far from being over as social media posts continue to pour in with Nigerians demanding for his resignation. The situation got complicated with the apology of the minister saying he regretted all extremist comments made in the past. Some of the comments I made some years ago that are generating controversies now were based on my understanding of religious issues at the time. And I have changed several positions taken in the past based on new evidence and maturity. I was young when I made some of the comments. I was in the university. Some of the comments were made when I was a teenager. The matter came up in the House of Representatives as Honorable Ndudi Elumelu called on the lower chamber to demand the resignation of the minister, stressing that sensitive data of Nigerians in the custody of the ministry may be in jeopardy.
Mr. Speaker, my worry is that there are allegations of him being a member of Al-Qaeda or Boko Haram, owned up and said that he did whatever he did because as at that time he was a youth. And he's still serving in this administration. Mr. Speaker, I feel that it would be out of place for me to sit here and allow this chamber not to speak about it and totally call for his resignation.
But amidst all this, there are questions on the implication of this development on the ongoing NIN registration and the credibility of the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration.
For somebody like Pantami who knows that his situation is very tenuous and that people are calling for his resignation, you will expect that if he had evidence of the new Pantami, the changed Pantami, he will quickly rush to bring this evidence. Just as people rush to bring evidence to indict him about extremist views, he will bring the evidence where he was talking to people at various fora that will indicate that he's a changed person. In the absence of this evidence, it becomes a very dangerous situation to continue to allow him to remain in power.
This is a concerted and organized effort to discredit the minister. Whatever the minister does or does not do, the minister will not control the data directly himself. So the whole issue of losing confidence in his ability to manage data is about actually cancelling him out and making sure that the policies that are being directed to him does not work. Let's break it down. Across the world, we now have a culture where people are being challenged for what they've said in the past. But what matters is what people have done. And there is no direct link so far between the minister's comments and any actions that enable terrorism directly.
Meanwhile, the federal government has thrown its weight behind the minister. Presidential spokesperson Garba Shehu in a statement says it is unfair for anyone to seek the downfall of a hardworking public servant over a comment made decades ago. Will President Muhammadu Buhari sack his hardworking minister? Will the National Assembly demand his resignation? Only time will tell. Abisola Adebayo, TV360, Lagos.
Substandard and adulterated tires worth 600 million naira were confiscated by the Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, on Friday. According to SON, the consignments, which were hidden in a warehouse along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, were discovered following intelligence gathering by the organization. TV360's Tunji Oye has the details.
Every day, every week, every month, there are lots of accidents on Nigerian roads. But what many Nigerians do not understand is that adulterated and substandard tires like these are the major causes of many of these road accidents. Thousands of substandard tires estimated to worth 600 million naira were hidden in this isolated warehouse. Acting on intelligence, the Standard Organization of Nigeria, led by its Director General Farouk Salim, and the detachment of mobile policemen stormed the warehouse and met the product ready to be distributed into the market.
You know, averagely, almost every tire has about 4 tires inside it. So we're looking at close to 600 million naira worth of tires that are worthless because they're stuffed, and their integrity is definitely questioned right now. As you can see from in the background, some of the tires are still bent and deformed even after they were removed from the other tires. This is dangerous because only God knows how many of these warehouses are hidden somewhere in the bushes and in different towns around the country. Don't forget, this country is wide, so I will not be surprised if there are not other stores even in the north like this. So it's a very dangerous trend, and this is why we are still emphasizing that the best way to enforce is to be at the port of entry.
SUN said about 100 container trucks must have delivered these tires, but it is surprising how about 100 trucks loaded with substandard tires escaped all security checks at the port and found its way into the city.
Your answer is as good as mine, because we absolutely have no idea how they slipped into this country. We are not at the ports, so we don't know. It didn't go through us. They don't have papers that are, certified from us to import. They don't have papers that they cleared with us. So essentially, your answer is as good as mine. Being a journalist, maybe you should investigate and see how they got through here. The warehouse is big. The capacity of the warehouse is close to about 300 or more containers, and only God knows how many they have already taken before after they got the wind of our impending raid here. So this is a very dangerous situation, and the people's lives are at stake. It's very dangerous. Our roads are not safe because of something like this.
For these products, they will be destroyed and those involved prosecuted. This seizure and arrest may look like a drop in the ocean, but it will definitely save lots of lives. From Lagos, Tunjoye, TV360 News.
Moving on, the Nigeria Senate is worried that many young Nigerians may not have the opportunity to attend tertiary institution unless something is done urgently to address the challenges in the sector. The lawmakers say it has become important to establish more universities that will help in absorbing the massive number of young Nigerians seeking tertiary education annually. TV360 Simisola Adigun tells us more in this report.
The Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, is here at a public hearing by the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions. The Senate is considering bills for the upgrade of some tertiary institutions to universities. The institutions are Federal University of Technology, Yaba, currently known as Yabatech, Federal University of Technology, Ilaru, currently known as Federal Poly, Ilaru, and the Nigerian French Language Village in Lagos as an international university center for French studies.
A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal University of Yaba Technology and other matters connected thereof, SB 85-221. 2. A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal University of Technology, Laru, to make comprehensive provision for its due management and administration and for other matters connected therewith, SB 84-212. And 3. A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Nigerian French Language Village as an inter-university center for French studies and for other matters connected therewith, SB 483.
Some very prominent traditional rulers, mainly from the Ogun West Senatorial District, were also in attendance. In its submission, the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund charged the current staff of Yabatech and Federal Polytechnic Ilaru to upgrade their qualifications to fit the university structure ahead of the upgrade.
The agricultural rejuvenation and massive mineral deposits exploitation will not affect the economy the appropriate yield without the composite value addition to the true industrial processing of this basic raw material for exportation. That is what will grow the economy and also create massive employment continue to realize the level of socialization needed in this country. I would say that a lot of well-trained technology training and manpower will be needed.
When you're trying to transform from a polytechnic or a college of technology to a university, it is better for you not to make excuses for your limitations. It's better for you to know that you are upgrading. And if the institution is upgrading, you must upgrade alongside. So we don't want excuses. You know what the NUC requires for a university to be established. For a big institution like Yaba College, please encourage all of you to become PhDs and professors quickly.
Other bills scheduled for consideration are those for the establishing of the National Institute for Border Studies, IMECO, Arabic Language Village, and that for the upgrade of the Maritime Academy, Oron, to a full-fledged federal university. Simisola Adigun, TV360 News.
Following the mass sacking of over 4,000 local government workers by the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, the Nigeria Labour Congress on Thursday declared a 5-day strike in both public and private organizations. Addressing journalists at the end of the meeting, President of the NLC, Ayuba Waba, who described the action as arbitrary and cruel, said the 5-day strike action will be extended if the Kaduna State government fails to meet all demands.
Labour will withdraw all services from either public or private. All services, and when I mean all services, it means all services, for all sectors of the economy, for 5 days in the first instance, and where there is no remorse, that is going to be a total action, because we believe that El-Rufai is not alone in this action, that neoliberal forces and also some governments are also part of it. And we wondered why this action have not been called to order by other relevant agencies of government because of the grave implication of this action. Where political office holders violate laws and constitutional provisions with impunity and nobody is ready to call them to order, we thought that it's high time that workers also exercise their rights to protect the rights of workers that are in Kaduna and their families.
The federal government has been advised to use calls by Nigerians to restructure the country. Sympathizers at the Line and State and Service of Songs of the late Afenifere spokesman Yinka Odumaki used the occasion to emphasize what the late activist stood for, which is a well-structured and peaceful nation. Our correspondent Mujimatomi has the details.
Late Yinka Odumaki was very vocal about his demands for restructuring, the need to work for the betterment and unity of Nigeria. The journalist turned politician and pro-democracy activist fought on many fronts for democracy and was the mouthpiece of Afenifere, the leading socio-cultural interest group in southwestern Nigeria. Odumaki has always said there is nothing to fear about true federalism and called for restructuring of the country many times.
A very, very progressive individual whose commitment to the task of building a nation anchored on social justice and fair play, a nation of prosperity, a nation that can do the continent proud and the entire black people. Unfortunately, we lost Yinka in the thick of the struggle.
These calls were re-echoed by sympathizers at his Line and State.
The suffering is much. The suffering is much. And if they don't restructure Nigeria, they will have more Igbo, they have more Igbo, they have more Igbo, and we cannot repress them. I don't support secession, I don't oppose you. Please, carry on the fight.
Dignitaries at the event emphasized that to move the country forward, proper devolution of power to the federating states is essential.
We want our leaders to give us good governance, leadership, to give us good leadership in Nigeria, because that is what we are suffering in this country. We don't have good leaders. We have leaders that are very selfish and self-centered. We have leaders that do not have a listening ear, even when they listen. It is only when election is coming that they listen.
Now that is gone, all we can do is to continue the fight.
People have mentioned about restructuring Nigeria. People have mentioned a lot of things. And I'm happy that we, the politicians that are here, a lot of us, because whenever people talk, I said, the greatest problem of Nigeria is we, the politicians. If we can serve our greed and decide to serve the country, it will be better. For Yinka, may we all be committed to serving Nigeria. The society we are building today will take its revenge on our children tomorrow.
As late Odumakin starts his journey home, many are hoping that his legacies and struggle for a better nation will become a reality soon. Mojisola Matomi, TV360 Lagos.
We'll take a pause here, but still to come, former Chadian leader Idris Deby buried. Welcome back. Well, let's take a recap of some of our top stories. 3 students of the Greenfield University in Kaduna State have been killed by their abductors. Confirming the developments, the Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Ariwan, said the remains of the 3 students were found on Friday in Kunan Bature village, a location close to the university. We also told you that the Standards Organization of Nigeria has impounded tires worth 600 million naira that were illegally imported into the country. Sun, acting on intelligence, stormed the warehouse on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and sealed off the facility. In case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. And now into COVID-19 cases and updates. Nigeria on Thursday recorded 100 new COVID-19 cases and 0 deaths, making it the 10th consecutive day that the country recorded no deaths from the virus. This is according to data released by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) late on Thursday night. With 0 fatality recorded, the death toll from the virus in Nigeria remains 2,061. According to the NCDC, the 100 new cases were reported from 9 states, with Taraba leading with 64 cases, while Lagos and the FCT at 21 and 4 cases respectively. We take a pause here, but up next is Business Stories. Just stay with us. Welcome back. Well, up next is Business Stories and Stock Market Review with Abisola Adebayo.
Thank you very much, Folashade. Welcome to Business News. The federal government has granted the Nigeria Liquefied Gas Limited 20 billion naira in tax waiver for the construction of Bodo Boni Bridge in Rivers State. The executive chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Services, Mohammed Nami, while urging other corporate bodies to take advantage of government's tax credit facility, presented the Road Infrastructure Credit Certificate to the company in Abuja. NLNG has so far received 3 credit certificates in the last 3 years, valued at 46 billion naira. The latest being the 3rd, while the 4th is expected later in the year. President Muhammadu Buhari had signed Executive Order 7 in 2020, authorizing tax waivers to companies that provide critical infrastructure. We'll take a break here and return with Stock Market Review. Do stay with us. The bulls maintained its dominance in the Nigerian exchange group throughout this week as the market traded in the positive territory today, recording 0.43% to close at 39,301 basis points. Market capitalization also gained over 80 billion naira to close at 20.568 trillion naira. Moving on now, we can see our market summary here. A total volume of 287 million of shares valued at 3 billion naira were traded in 3,578 deals. Moving on now, our top gainers for today. The market situation, however, is as a result of price appreciation in medium and large capitalized stocks, including Triple G, Sovereign Trust PLC, Stanbic IBTC, as well as Academy Press from the printing and press sector. They recorded a combined 4 naira 11 kobo increase. On the losers chart today, that's our top 4 losers for the day. Union Deacon, Link Assurance PLC, Cornest and FTN Cocoa completed our top 4 losers. They were the biggest losers in the market today. They recorded a combined 1 naira 12 kobo loss. Moving on now, we can see our global market. That's our FTSE, the Dow Jones and the Nikkei. The FTSE and the Dow Jones traded in the positive territory today, while the Nikkei, that's Japan stocks, was in the negative territory. The FTSE recovered from previous day session as U.S. markets tumble amid concerns over capital gains tax hike. It recorded a 0.0046% increase. Meanwhile, compared to previous session, the Dow Jones, even though it's in the positive territory right here, it sank a little bit on a report that President Joe Biden wants to hike the capital gains tax rate on wealthy Americans. He also announced a new climate change interest. That is why our Dow Jones closed at 0.64% increase. Japan stocks Nikkei closed lower, like I said earlier, as stricter government curbs to contain COVID-19 infections raised economic recovery concerns, while a disappointing forecast from NIDEC added to the cautious mood at the start of the corporate earnings season. It recorded a 0.57% decline. That's all on stock market review. It's back to Fola Shade for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Abisola. I'll move on now to the foreign scene, where Chad began funeral ceremonies on Friday for veteran ruler Idris Deby, a key figure in the fight against the Sahel's jihadist insurgency, as France and regional allies voiced backing for his son and successor, Mohammed Idris Deby. The elder Deby, who had ruled for 30 years, died from wounds sustained fighting rebels at the weekend, the army said on Tuesday. His coffin, draped in the national flag and surrounded by elite troops, was driven on the back of a pickup truck to the Place de la Nation Square for ceremonies attended by foreign leaders, including French President Emmanuel Macron. Well, up next is entertainment reports.
Veteran actress Rita Dominic has rewarded 3 budding actors with a cash prize of 1.4 million naira. The actors Jasmine Wright, Chioma Okafor and Josh Anowi emerged winners of the recently held acting challenge for the movie La Femme Angela. The winners were announced on Monday after a rigorous process of selection from multiple entries. La Femme Angela, co-produced by Dominic, released to critical acclaim in March 2021. Nollywood actor Olariwaju James, also known as Baba Ejisha, has been arrested by the Lagos State Police Command for defiling a minor. The police command, in a statement released via its Twitter handle on Thursday, said the actor was arrested for defiling a 14-year-old girl. Based on preliminary findings, the suspect started sexually assaulting the victim since she was 7 years old. The suspect confessed to the crime and was also captured by a CCTV camera in the house of the complainant. The Commissioner of Police, Lagos State, Akim Odumusu, has ordered for proper investigation as they promised to do justice in the matter. And that is all that we have for you on the entertainment segment of News Now.
And it's a wrap on our news bulletin. Thank you for watching. I am Fola Shade Ogrinde.